Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for a minute, I'm about to quit my job, cash in for a ticket. I'm going on a trip and I don't plan to visit. I'm gonna stay there till I feel like I'm winning, and this is just the beginning. I need a big change, help me feel like living. I need a big swing, home runs I'm hitting, and I'll never look back, moving on till I get it all. And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be?
All right. As my boy James Glove will say. We are back for your Tuesday episode of Unscripted, episode number 351. I don't feel like we do it for that long, Jay, but also it feels like we have been. Like I said, if you enjoy the show tonight, please like, comment, share, subscribe. We go live on all the social platforms you see right here. Facebook, Twitter, Unscripted right there, Unscripted Guys on Twitter. Check us out on TikTok as well, Unscripted Sports, YouTube, Unscripted Sports, and Twitch as well. Like I said, Jay's holding down on Facebook. Me and Frankie are killing it right now on Twitter. I'm also doing my thing over there on TikTok. As a collective, we're working good on YouTube and Twitch, getting those brought up, and it's just a good time. But first off, Jay McLovin, my cohort in crime for all these 350-plus episodes. What's going on, my brother?
You know, man, I am so excited. We're going to talk about this in a minute, man, but Vladimir Guerrero.
Woo.
Hey, I want you to know, me and Stat Guy did a morning show prior to that competition, and Stat Guy looked at me and says, Jay, there's a lot of guys out here that can take this competition. Who do you think is going to take it? And I said, Pete Alonso has done it before. I think he can do it again. Julio Rodriguez, it's in his backyard. He certainly can do it. And by the way, for you who don't know, Julio hit 41, set a home run derby record in a single round. But I told him, I said, let me tell you something. Vladimir Guerrero's pops got the home run crown many, many years ago. And I just think this is the year that Vladdy Jr. is going to make his pops proud. And he's going to bring home the home run crown. And by the way, he did just that. Now, I'm not going to go too far into that. When we go to All-Star Game here in a little while in a future segment, we're going to talk more into that. So I'm not going to go too far into that. But I just want to let you know, Logan, I called it before it happened. And I don't call a lot of things correctly. I actually call a lot of things incorrectly. So I just want to put a shout out to Jay McLovin calling something right.
Okay. I feel you.
But also, hopefully that my boy, James Lamons, who is in the green room, and we're about to bring him in just a few moments. I want to tell you just a little introduction, if I may. Logan, if I could take a small segment.
Hey, Jay, go
very short. I want to introduce this guy. He's a very close, personal person to me. We went to combat in Afghanistan together. We went in the army together. We were in the proud Rakkasans, Let Valor Not Fail regiment, which, by the way, if you don't know, the Rakkasans are one of the only regiments in all of the army, the entire army, that has their own personal finial. Personal finial. I want to highlight that. And this guy's amazing. He's smart. He's intelligent. He knows his sports. And I love this man amongst brothers. He's the original brotherhood amongst brothers. And I can't wait to talk sports with this guy. I'm already excited.
And Jays, you mentioned making his unscripted debut here on episode 351. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. James Lamons. What's going on, man? How you doing?
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
And we are doing great. Glad to have you on our show. And
I'm excited
to talk some sports with you, man. It's going to be a good time.
I'm excited.
Oh, Well, hey, we'll let Jay kick things off here. As you know, Jay, it's time to go home. So let's let their intro play, and then we'll let you take it away, my friend. All right, so for those of you who are not or new to the segment, we only do it one at a time. We get 10 minutes per segment. Talk about whatever you want, whatever team you want that you enjoy that you root for. Jenny, you got 10 minutes on the clock, my brother. Go ahead and talk about your Houston Astros, Dallas Stars, whoever else you want to go with.
No, we're going to straight talk Houston Astros. Listen, guys, we are currently on a sad note going into the All-Star game. We are on a one-game losing streak. We lost 1 out of 4 to the Seattle freaking Mariners, who I can't stand, who I hate. We are also 2 games back of the Rangers in the division, but we are tied with the Toronto Blue Jays for the wild card. So it's not a bad day, but it's not exactly a great day either. Here's the thing, man. We have got a 50-41 record. 50-41. We should be much, much better than what we are. But you guys got to understand, Altuve, IL. Alvarez, IL. Urquidy, IL. Garcia, lost for the season. Tommy John. Who else we got? McCullers, lost for the season with forearm issues. Brantley, God forbid if we ever see the light of day of him. So keep that in mind. We play the Angels after the All-Star. We know what Ohtani brings. Oh, but by the way, Trout's hurt. I fully expect the Astros to rebound after the All-Star break. I fully expect the Astros to come back and win the series against the Angels. I fully expect a lot of different things. I want to let you guys know there are 3 guys that I love dearly right now. Tucker at number 1, Dubon at number 2, and my boy, the rookie, the guy that came out of nowhere, Corey freaking Jokes. All of those guys are hitting above 270. These are the guys. I can live without Altuve. I know everybody's going to say, oh, my God, Jay, but Altuve is this and Altuve is that. I don't give a damn. When Dubon is hitting above 270, which is better than what Altuve is giving me, I'm going to roll with the hot hand. So let's just stay with our boy Dubon. Also, our issues. What are our issues? You said, Jay, what's the issues with the Astros? We all know what the issues are. The issues are pitching and bullpen. A boy told me one time, if you can just average 3 runs, if your offense can just give you 3 runs, you got a 50 to 75% chance of winning every single game. Just get 3 runs. We haven't quite got there yet. I will tell you right now, though, in the last series we just came off of with the Seattle Mariners, I will tell you it went like this: 5-1, 10-1, 3-2, 3-1. We won the 3-2. We lost the 10-1. We lost the 5-1, and we lost the 3-1. The 5-1, okay, take what you will. The 10-1, okay, I give you. The 3-1, which was game 4, which we lost going into the All-Star, we should have had that. But our offense wasn't on sync with our defense. Defense meaning our pitching. Look, we're holding to 3 points. Give me 2 more. A couple of times we had a runner in scoring position. We clearly could have won that game, and we didn't. So if you go by the metric of 3 runs, just get 3 runs a game, we're looking at probably splitting the series with the Seattle Mariners going into the All-Star and probably being 1 game back of the Rangers going into All-Star break. That's how crucial it is. You ask me what the problem with the Houston Astros is? It is simple. Consistent offensive output with consistent defensive output. And sometimes you get one, but you don't get the other, vice versa. That's the problem with the Houston Astros. I think Dusty Baker is kind of figuring it out. I think the Astros are kind of figuring it out. We'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, Montero, I applaud you. When the last time I gave a segment on you guys, you were at 7 point something on your ERA. You have since dropped your ERA to 6 point what? I think 5.7, 6.57 is now your ERA. And then you look at Stanek. Oh God, Stanek. Jesus Christ, Stanek. Stanek, you're killing me, man. Your ERA is around 4. Believe Seth Martinez, your ERA is around 4. Again, France Belock, your ERA is around 3.26 and 3.79 respectively. You say, well, Jay, why do you give their ERAs? Because these guys are rookies. This is their first season. You got a guy like Javier that last year gave you two combined no-hitters. But what is Javier's ERA? That's where it gets a little tricky. Javier's ERA and Hunter Brown's ERA are a little bit over 4. Let me put that in perspective. 4! I want to tell you, Javier was a key in-the-middle prospect in our World Series run last season, but yet they're being outperformed. Him and Hunter Brown are being outperformed by 2 call-ups from the minors that have ERAs under 4. Let that sink in for a minute. What am I saying? I'm saying the Astros' problem is ERA in the bullpen. Also, ERA in Javier. Javier, come on, man. Bro, you're better than this. You're better than a 4 point whatever ERA. You're better than this, Javier. I will say this. Bryce Matthews, shortstop out of Nebraska, drafted at number 28 by the Houston Astros. Grade given A. Not A plus, just an A. But an A is better than a B. B plus. So at 28, the Astros drafted Bryce Matthews. The guy's got a exit velocity equal to Dylan Cruz. Dylan Cruz was the number 2 guy. Dylan Cruz thought was to be number 1 in the draft. Actually wound up going number 2 in the draft. Our exit velocity at 28 is equal to his. And that's why I give the Astros an A, drafted at 28 at the shortstop position. Our second draft was Alonzo Treadwell, the right-handed pitcher out of UCLA. I would have liked to see the Astros get a left-handed pitcher because we don't got a lot of lefties in our bullpen. They went right-handed. It's okay. And at the end of the day, he does have a good fastball. He does have a good changeup that are really, really nice. I'm going to give them the credit on that. I'm going to give him an A on that, not an A+, because an A+ would have been a left-handed pitcher. But I think we did well in the draft. We're going to do well after the All-Star break. Keynotes, Urquidy should be back after the All-Star break. Alvarez and Altuve should be back after the All-Star break. The only key question for the Astros is, listen, 2 questions. 1, Brantley, are you ever going to make your freaking appearance this season in left field? And number 2, Astros, if Brantley can't make the season debut in left field, are you going to grab a left fielder for away games at the trade deadline? That's the question that I give to the Houston Astros. Dusty Baker, the only advice I got for you, learn when to pull your pitchers. Hunter Brown, in that 10-1 loss to Seattle, you should have pulled his ass when bases were loaded and no outs. And he knew his command was not on point. Hunter Brown's going to be something in the league. I promise you. Hunter Brown will be a dominant pitcher in the league. He didn't have it that night. You should have knew that. You should have had a guy warming up. You should have brought in Hector Neris at a 1.43 ERA to get out of that bases loaded jam. You knew it. You didn't do it. I'm a little angry at you for that. I'm going to also, God tells me to forgive, so I'm also going to forgive you. I don't want to see you do that again. Learn when to pull your pitcher when he just doesn't have it. Outside of that, this is Jay's report on the Houston Astros. We will make the playoffs. Whether we overtake the Rangers is a whole nother matter. But we will get into, and we actually are in the All-Star game. So that's it. That's all I got.
True. All right. Well, as usual, Jay, bringing the heat, talking about your Astros. And as you mentioned, we are going to talk more about the Home Run Derby All-Star Game preview that is coming up at 8 o'clock here in about 40 minutes or so. And also do a little recap of the MLB draft. They're still going on, but my God, there's over 600 picks. So we're going to do a little winners and losers throughout the I would say, early rounds, but through the first handful of rounds, talk about that. But like I said, before we get into that, James, it's your debut segment, my friend. Go ahead and get in there. Talk about whatever sports you want to. 10 minutes is on the clock. The floor is yours, my friend. Go ahead.
Man, I appreciate y'all. One of the things I want to talk about today is what is it with Texas teams? Because I'm a Texas fan. I love the Rangers. I love me the Cowboys. But what is it with Texas teams? And they can have all the recipes of success and that they still fall short. Listening to Jay talk about the Astros, I saw that game. And I'm not a baseball manager by any means. I enjoy baseball casually. And after I watched him put 2 men on base with 0 outs, like basically just looking, like he walked one, I think, and I think he walked 2 back to back. You have to correct me on that one. I'm sitting thinking, I was like, this guy, he's off. He's not hitting where he's supposed to be hitting. He's not doing it. I've seen pitchers get pulled for less. I've seen pitchers get up there, throw 2 balls and right back to back, and then suddenly somebody's out there pulling them. Why did they wait till there was the bases loaded in a grand slam before they're like, okay, I guess we better pull the guy? No, you're too late, man. That's 4 points on the board you don't get back, and in most of these games you're not gonna get it back. It's like the Texas Rangers have all the recipes to go to the World Series on repeat. They've done it back to back. They go to the World Series, but they just can't clinch it. You know, there's 5 Texas Rangers in the starting lineup in the American League for the God, no, it's not Pro Bowl. It's the All-Star game. Pro Bowls for the football. 5 Texas Rangers out of the starting lineup. That's insane to me. How do you have that much talent on your bench and on your field, and yet you can't seem to clinch it? It's one of the most frustrating things being a fan, and you know, I'm sure there's a lot more numbers to it. I remember recently I watched that movie Moneyball. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that movie. How they talk about what's more valuable, high numbers or percentages getting on base. Just because somebody doesn't hit a lot, but they get on base a lot, would be more valuable to a team, because getting on base puts you in a scoring position. But just because you hit the ball doesn't mean it's one going out or that you're getting on the base. There's a lot of things that can happen just because you hit the ball. And I think that a lot of these managers should probably start taking a look at the numbers side on the other side of that too, whenever it comes to management and leadership. Like what is our leadership, not doing? What is their percentage for, games won in the 7th inning, games won in the 8th inning or 9th inning? Especially goes for like in football. All the talent in the world can go to a team, but bad coaching, bad management, just in general will help mess it up. And I think the sports world needs to take a hard look at that more than anything else, because everybody always talks about like, the first thing we need to do is, all right, the season's kind of rough. We just need to try to get a good person in the draft. You got a lot of talent, man. What are you looking for in the draft? A coach? Because you're not going to find it in there. And that's been I guess that's my hot take on that one, is I think that, talking about watching that Astros game and watching the Rangers and stuff play, with the whole new rule changes, it's got everybody, off their feet right now, like off kilter, if you will. So, I guess that's my segment.
All right. I mean, you're not kidding. I mean, I've seen, I forget who it was who said it, but they were talking about for the postseason for baseball, maybe the umpires could be a little bit more lenient with that pitch clock because of just the added moments that you get in the postseason play that you don't get in the regular season. So, I mean, that is an interesting concept, but I highly doubt that MLB is going to do that, especially the first year in. I think they're just going to ride it out all the way. And I think they're just going to go with the approach of, hey, you've had the entire season to get this figured out. If you can't do it in the postseason, then that's on you.
Well, see, I understand the whole purpose they implemented the pitch clock. I think on average, I read somewhere that it's actually shortened the game by almost 30 minutes.
It has.
Yeah, so it's doing its job. As far as, you're talking about the leniency preseason or regular season versus postseason, I'm not so 100% sure I agree with that entirely. I think that's whenever you want to be the hardest on it, is whenever it means the least amount. Get these players in the mindset of this is important, because I think it was the Rangers pitcher. God bless. Why can't I not remember his name? It wasn't Simeon.
You talking about DeGrom?
No,
No.
he was abusing the pitch clock and like just torturing batters up there, and they had to make a new rule for him. And where was it? The Dodgers pitcher?
Oh, I knew.
Are we talking about Kershaw?
I think it was
Yeah, I think it was
Kershaw,
Kershaw.
Scherzer one. I forget who it was.
But either way, he was up there, and because of the pitch clock, as soon as the batter made eye contact with him, the ball was coming out.
Yeah.
And they had like zero time to react to it. And he was like, oh, I'm just going to abuse the pitch clock. So then they had to change the rule again just for him. They added the little asterisk on it, Kershaw's rule. And like, you got to be set. You got to make eye contact. Then you can start your whole wind-up process. And the amount of box, though, has gone through the roof, too. Like, just they implemented a new rule, so obviously the penalties are going to go through the sky. People are still trying to learn how to play with this new rule. Baseball, by and large, has not been a super fast-paced sport like, say, soccer or football or anything like that. It is a sport of strategy and patience.
Hey, Oz, don't come to preaching to me, because I already know exactly where you're going with that. Stand it. Hey, listen, I don't know if you caught the Dodgers and Houston Astros series, but the third game of the damn series was decided. Let me say it again. It was decided on a second base umpire calling Stanek on a balk, and Stanek has had the same damn approach every damn game he's ever played, ever, even including this season that they had all these rule changes. He went through God knows how many months of the season, and one son of a gun, and I'm really saying gun because my wife says I can't say the B word.
Yeah, you gotta be
One
good,
son of a gun has a notion up his butt, because I can't say the other
We're
word,
trying to be clean here. And
that he wants to call a balk and decide a game. Let me say it again. And
Okay.
decide.
And that's one of the other things that bothers me the most about current baseball right now is it's entirely based on umpire feelings. I mean, full stop.
Absolutely it is.
The umpire sort of goes,
Absolutely.
I think he
Absolutely.
balked, and I'm standing behind second base. But that pitcher's been doing that same windup for 10 years,
Exactly.
12
Thank
years.
you.
Good
He's
point.
been
Oh
doing
my
that same
God.
windup because
Oz,
suddenly the rule
thank
changed. He
you.
goes,
Yes.
I don't really like the way that
Yes.
looks now based on the
Yeah.
new rules. You're having to not only teach new pitchers how to do windups. There's this one pitcher, I can't even remember who he plays for, but one of his windups is he literally picks his left leg up 3 times and then he throws it. That's like been the whole thing.
Oz, thank you. Yes. Good God. Yeah.
It's so
Jay-
Oz. And that's what I'm trying to listen. There are people that I know on this quote unquote network that will say, well, Jay, it was a balk. Okay, if you want to go look at it from a technical definition, I will agree with you, it was a balk. But let me ask you this. He was pitching 7, 8 innings exactly the same way. And on the 9th inning, or whatever it was, when it was a deciding factor, now you want to call a freaking balk. What?
Also, Damien, we've been working with Jay. It's been a work in progress to get him cleaned up, but we've done a good job. And Jay, we are also proud of you.
And I didn't curse at all in that.
You did not. Also, our boy Chris Gonzalez is going on Gonzo. He actually has if you check out his Facebook, YouTube, all of his socials. He's got a wrestling show going on live right now, so go over there, check that out. Get 2 screens open, right? Get 2 tabs. Have us in one screen, have Chris in the other. That way you can listen to both of us and see some great. You can. What do you do? You can. I'm not saying mute Gonzo, but you can mute the wrestling. You can watch the wrestling, listen to us. You know how it is.
you
Now
talking
we can have
about
both of us. You can enjoy all of us here.
you talking about wrestling, man.
Hey, Oz. I'm
Yes.
sorry. I'm not calling you Oz. I'm calling your ass James. I know you got Oz and that son of a bitch, but I'm calling you James.
I know where
James, how do you go an entire freaking baseball game
Yeah.
and at the very end, when the chips are in the are at the most important, now you all of a sudden you want to call a balk on a guy that's been pitching the exact same way. Consistency,
That's
James.
the part that bothers me the
Can we ever
most
get
about it all
consistency?
is because baseball may not be a game of inches like football is,
Right.
but at the end of the day, each little movement and each pitch, each play matters. And it doesn't take but one bad call in baseball to throw an entire team to the wind. Like they suddenly they're going to have a hard time getting their feet back underneath them. Just like you were telling in your, we'll say, rant. The Houston Astros made one bad call. You know what that bad call was? They didn't pull that pitcher. They didn't pull him in time. One bad call, and that was 4 points. They were down 4-0. And then when they got the new pitcher up there, he's going in there cold. He's down 4 points, and he gets 2 on the board. So now you've got a 6-0 lead before the game's even really started, man.
Hey, Damien, like I said, it's a work in progress. He's not perfect now, okay? We're still working with him, but hey,
we're getting better. We're getting getting better. Just so you know, that game, Hunter Brown gave up 5 runs, I believe it was, and then Stanek and cohorts gave up the other 5. I'm not saying. Well, okay. Let me correct that. That was in the 10-1 game. The game we're talking about is a completely different game. I'm sorry. I'm getting my games mixed up. But the whole point of the matter is consistency. Just give me consistency, and I think we all know that the umpires.
They're talking about doing robo umpires.
Hey, Logan, when it comes to, even a simple thing as balls and strikes. We all know
got a computer for it now.
Yeah, and look, it's going to be an issue that's just going to keep on going until we do get robotic umps, which we are going to end up trending that way. It's going to minor leagues and whatnot.
There's almost no way
to the majors.
It
really is. But
Logan, let's hear this Atlanta Braves segment, and then hopefully Frankie will come in with some Yankees segment.
All right, well that works here. First off, let me introduce Frankie the Yankee. What's going on, my friend? How you doing tonight on this wonderful Tuesday?
Oh, Taco Tuesday! Everybody hide your wives. Frankie the Yankee's here.
Oh, and he's on one tonight too, ladies and gentlemen. I can tell.
I freaking love the All-Star break. It's kind of like my time where, I just sit around and I drink and I turn into a Jay McLovin, but more professional.
How many Yankees were in the starting lineup?
One.
Hold on.
One.
Hey,
look, James. Hey, James. He's just hold on, James. He's just happy that Garrett Cole got the nod by Dusty Baker as to lead off the All-Star game. Now, for you guys that don't know, hold on, Frankie. Even Frankie didn't know this. Originally, Garrett Cole wasn't going to start the All-Star game because he had just come off of a previous short stint. So that originally he was not supposed to start. He was actually not even supposed to be in the All-Star game, period. Somehow or another, somebody put Garrett Cole back in the starting lineup, and Dusty Baker gave him the start. But Frankie, I'm telling you, I promise you, ESPN put out an article of all the people that weren't going to pitch or not even going to play in the All-Star game, and Garrett Cole was one of those guys. Now, that obviously has changed. And eventually he did get added back into the All-Star. But Frankie's happy because Garrett Cole starting the All-Star game.
The hell with that, Logan. No, the hell with that. He's not going to say what he's going to say.
All right, you know what, Frankie? You get your 10 minutes right now. I'll wrap it up. All right, how about that?
There you go. I'm good with that.
All right, Frankie. Dare he say 10 minutes on the clock. Let's go, brother.
How dare Jay say that? Jay knows for a fact. I don't care what ESPN says. All right, we all know ESPN is a bunch of fake sources. Hell, they're so fake, they fired half their staffs. That's how fake they are. And I know for a fact that those sources are fake because Garrett Cole is right now the best pitcher in baseball. That's right, I said it. And I can get all the trash talking I want because you know what? I will take it all and I will give it back. I said what I said and I stand behind it. Garrett Cole is the best pitcher in Major League Baseball right now. Yes, Dusty Baker might be the best manager in baseball because he's the defending World Series champion, yes. But he knows that there was no other way to start an All-Star game than having the Yankees, Garrett Cole, start. That was a really smart move on Dusty Baker. You know for a fact Dusty called Garrett and said, hey, yo, listen, I need you to come to Seattle. I need you. I have a bunch of nobodies in this bullpen that's trying to say that they could come in and start this game. No. I need you, Mr. Garrett Cole. That's who I need. So I don't care what Jay is saying. By the way, since this is my segment on my New York Yankees, I am glad that we got a new member in our coaching staff by the name of Sean Casey. He's our new hitting coach. God damn it. If you guys know me really well, and excuse my language, like Logan said when I came on, I'm on one today. When the All-Star break happened, before that, we were the terrible team at hitting. Everybody knew that. I was the one person that would come out and say, listen, we are terrible at hitting. Our pitching is phenomenal. Our bullpen, phenomenal. The hits are freaking garbage. And I'm glad we got rid of that trashy hitting coach. I hope to God that he doesn't even get a minor league contract. And I hope to God he doesn't even get a high school contract. He deserves to go to the middle schoolers where they don't even get playoff scenarios. They only play a minimum of 7 games, and the parents just love that they go ahead and go 2-6 or whatever, or 2-5, and they still get medals. That's where he needs to go because he was terrible. Sean Casey, I am loving that this man is now a New York Yankee. Everybody knows that the second half of the season is always different, and I pray to God that the second half of the season, Sean Casey, you change this hitting rotation around. You change how everybody's stance is. You change how everybody's hitting is. I've seen a segment last year when you were talking about Alex Bregman. Excuse me. Yes, Alex Bregman, the Houston Astros Jays man himself, where he was discussing how Alex Bregman's hitting stance was different from 2018 to 2022. It was absolutely amazing. And just watching that goes and tells me that when this man comes into the Yankees locker room and he starts doing films, he is going to tell everybody, your stance from this year to last year, terrible. This is what you need to do. This is where you need to hit. This is what you should be hitting. The guy that was here before me, absolutely garbage, and I'm here now. I am happy. New York Yankees, let's go. All-Star break, Garrett Cole. I'm calling it now. Over 50 pitches, because we all know that the pitching rotation doesn't last long in the All-Star break. They get like a couple of innings in, and then it's just a monsoon of different pitches every other inning or every inning after that. But 50 pitches for Garrett Cole, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks. That's my stat line for Garrett Cole. Take it to the bank, America.
Wow. All right. Frankie, once again, coming up with the heat, as we always know. Man, all right. Well, hey, Frankie, great job. But now it's time for me to get in here, talk about some Braves, talk about some Atlanta sports, and see what we all about here. So let me get my my little screen popped up here. All right. Atlanta Braves, as we know, 8 All-Stars in total. The whole infield flew out there tonight. We'll see how many we get in there. Like I said, glad to see we've been doing well. Best record in baseball. I believe 60-29 was the record. First team to 60 wins, just like the Yankees were last year, by the way, Frankie. So at least we got that in common, my friend. And, man, I'm excited. I'm excited this team. Hopefully they can keep it up like we've seen all year. Like I said, pitching's been solid. Had a rough outing with Elder to end the first half with the Rays. But beside that, we still won the series nonetheless, though, so I will gladly accept that. And, man, we're looking good. I think that Murphy has been a great addition from Oakland. Olsen has continued his great run from last season. Acuna is not just probably the leader for MVP this year. He's also the top jersey seller in baseball right now, even beating out Shohei Ohtani, which I thought was kind of insane. But I'm happy for all of them, man. They're doing great. Hopefully, just knock on wood, everyone stays healthy the second half of the season. We can continue the great run we've been on. I see Jay nodding his head down there. I think Jay wants a repeat of the last couple. I'm just saying. But but no, like I said, Braves are doing good, man. I'm excited for them. Hopefully, second half we come out even stronger than we did in the first. Let's go off the baseball diamond here. We're going to be talking about that a good bit in our next segment. Let's go to the basketball court. Hawks made a big move. They signed DeJounte Murray to a big contract. They also made a trade the other day, getting rid of Rudy Gay, who they got in that John Collins deal, sending him and a few other guys over to get Patty Mills, experienced veteran. I like the move. It hit me a little bit later on. I texted the guys. I said, man, I forgot that Patty Mills and Murray had played together in San Antonio. So I think that's going to be really well. The Hawks need some veteran leadership on that team. That's something they were lacking last season. They had a few guys, but I think Patty Mills is a very serviceable backup point guard to Trae Young. I think that's going to go well. Summer League action, like I said, they won the other night. A lot of young guys. I'm excited to see what this team's going to do. I'm not expecting that 2021 magical run we went on. We got to the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm not expecting that, but I do think this team is going to be better than what their record was last year, where they were just seemingly at 500 the entire way, pretty much. I remember we were doing a show, and like even like I'm just gonna say the last 15 or 20 games or 20 or 30 games, they went like 15-15 or 10-10, and they never got above like a 2-game win streak. So that was just pure frustration. I would rather us lose a lot of games than just do that all year, just because you don't know what your team's going to be about. Obviously, we saw that with them doing some front office shakeups, getting Kyle Korver in the mix, and then I think them having a pretty solid draft, getting Kobe Buffkin in the first round, Seth Lundy as well in the second round. Two guys who I'm excited to see what they're going to be doing with. But like I said, I think the Hawks, they got a lot of potential. I think I'm excited to see what they're going to do this year. I'd say I'm more excited for them this year than I was last year, just because we have even more young talent who have a lot of potential, in my opinion. So we'll see what they can do there. Raiders, I kind of said the Raiders are just kind of chilling there, man. I'm just, hey, Jimmy G quarterback. Hey, we'll see how it goes. I was a big Derek Carr fan, y'all know. I did like Derek Carr. I thought he was just, I thought he was a good quarterback, but just an even better guy overall. So I was sad to see him leave. Jimmy G, like I said, is he quality? Yes. Do you know what you're going to get with him? Yeah, pretty much. You're not going to get 350 yards and 5 tutties from him every Sunday. You'll get 200, 250, and maybe a touchdown or two. That's just how he is. He doesn't have that cannon of an arm. And like I said, with them giving up Waller in the offseason for a bag of peanuts, pretty much, still doesn't sit right with me. But hey, we'll see what they can do, man. But overall, like I said, I'm just focused more so on the Braves. They're doing great right now. They're looking red hot. And like I said, I'm excited to see how the All-Star game is going to be here in about 20 minutes. So I'm excited to see what that's going to be about. But man, like I said, overall, it's been a great time to be an Atlanta sports fan, in terms of the Braves at least. I don't know about the Falcons and all that. But man, it's been a good time though. But all right, fellas. So that's going to wrap it up for close to home.
Frankie, Logan, your team sucks.
What do you mean, Frankie? What you mean? What you mean by that?
Listen, Logan. I'm gonna throw some stuff at you real quick. All right.
All right. Make it quick. Make it quick.
Bro. And I love you, bro.
I know. Go ahead.
You went and you said that the Braves are still they're at where the Yankees were last year. Look what happened to the Yankees after the All-Star break, sir.
Oh, I know.
And I pray to the baby Jesus up there that is swinging the small bat with a small glove in his hand at the outfield, that every single player of the Braves get hurt tonight.
Oh my God!
I'm praying for it, but also with the Atlanta Hawks, bro. The Atlanta Hawks, bro. Me and Jay know.
Wishful thinking, brother.
We know really well that yes, you got really good pieces around it, but there's just that one player that everybody points the finger at, and they like to call him Mr. Ice Tray.
Mm-hmm.
And your Raiders.
I don't even want
Raiders. I don't have to say nothing on them. Let's go on to the next subject.
Like, man, Derek Carr was a good quarterback. He was just a good quarterback.
Yeah. That's a good point. Well, let's move on. Let's talk some home run derby. Let's get into some positive here so that way I can get through this show. Home run derby. We all know Vladdy Jr. got the win last night, beat Arozarena in the finals, 25-24. Vladdy hit, I believe, 72 home runs in total. But my God, so just give your quick thoughts on the home run derby. If you watched it, what you thought about it, and then we'll talk about that, and then we'll get into the All-Star game after you all give your thoughts. So, Frankie, we'll just start from the bottom, go all the way up. So, Frankie, what you think of the All-Star or the home run derby last night as you were live tweeting it?
I literally, the home run derby is like the one thing that I watch in the All-Star break. I really love the home run derby since I was a little kid. I'm really confused why we didn't see a celebrity all-star game. It's whatever. I don't like to see I don't like to see the all-star game itself because it's kind of like football where these guys aren't playing really tough and stuff like that. And we don't expect them to be. It's the all-star break. It's to have fun. It's to give the crowd something to cheer for and have fun together and everything like that. You don't want to see people getting hurt during this game when we got a second half of the season left in them. So the home run derby last night was absolutely amazing. I skipped Monday Night Raw to watch the home run derby, and if everybody knows me well, everybody on this panel except for Oz up there, they know that I'm a huge wrestling fan. Fan.
Yeah.
I took the time out of my night to skip Monday Night Raw to watch the home run derby, and I was absolutely impressed. I loved every single minute of it, from the moment where we saw the guy from the Baltimore Orioles getting pitches thrown from his dad, all the way to seeing Pete
Rushman,
Alonso, all the way to seeing Pete Alonso get dethroned again for the second year in a row by Julio Rodriguez. It was absolutely stunning. I loved it. Vlad Guerrero Jr. got the win. Not only did he get the win, but he was getting the wind knocked out of him while hitting home runs. This man was running out of breath while he was in the 10th. Like he got his 10th home run. The man was like, "Need a puppy." You know, he was out of breath. He didn't know what to do. The one thing that I did not like about the All-Star break was Mookie Betts. I don't understand why they brought Mookie Betts into this. Mookie Betts is not a home. He looked like he wasn't even a home run hitter last night in the All-Star in the home run derby. It was absolutely
that dude's like the average citizen that they put in there for context. Like, just so you guys think that this isn't hard because all these dudes slamming it. There's this guy.
Yeah, no, and I mean Mookie's not even like he does hit home runs. Don't get me wrong, but he's not a prolific power home run hitter like the other guys were.
Like even the commentators are saying that, you know, he's just glad to be here. He was there because his wife told him to go there. They literally said that. They said he's here because his wife wanted him to come here. He's done everything in baseball. He's won a World Series. He's won an MVP. He's won a rookie MVP. You know, he's been in the All-Star game. The one thing he hasn't done was being a home run derby. So he's got that out of his bucket list. And even the announcers were saying, if this man was to hit a home run last night over 440 feet, because that's the bonus feet that you need to get the extra bonuses and stuff.
Right, give some more time.
He didn't get to that. He didn't get to 440 feet. And they even said that if he was able to get 440 feet, that's an accomplishment for himself right there. Because Mookie Betts does not hit some solid home runs like everybody else that was in there. And so I don't understand why they put him in there. And I get what I was saying. Yeah, they put him in there because, you know, let's put Mookie in there. Let's fill in an extra spot. And let's put Mookie in there. But there's a lot of people in baseball right now that could have been in there. They should have put De La Cruz in there. And
they have to accept also, though. It's just like the slam dunk contest in the NBA. None of the high name people signed up for that. It's just become less than a sideshow for them. And I worry that same thing could be happening to the MLB. Because it's all risk, no reward for those players. All risk, no reward.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Luis Robert. He's not playing tonight.
Yeah, but you go up there and you bomb it and you fail, then everybody in the world's pointing and laughing at you like, haha, that dude sucks. But and
we're
for what?
We're laughing at Mookie Betts right now.
Yeah, like we pointed laughing at Mookie Betts right now. It's like, for what? What was the what's the reward for it? Just a little bit extra pennies? These guys are getting paid millions of dollars a year, man.
Right. Yeah, they don't care what we think.
And I put money on it right now. And I'm not saying this just to say it. I'm being truly honest right now, like as a baseball fan. And Jay knows. If Yordan Alvarez would have never gotten hurt, I put money on it. Yordan Alvarez would have been in the home run derby.
Hey,
he honestly would have been in the home run derby.
I'll throw you this one. Do you think he would have been the first player to get to 50 in a round?
Yordan?
Yeah.
Oh man, that man's got some power. If he had the right pitcher to throw to him and the pitcher throw it at the spot where he wants it to, I absolutely think he could have got 50 home runs. Honestly, the man's got power. Yordan Alvarez is a really good home run hitter. And if you've seen Julio Rodriguez, he got, I think it was 41 in the first round against Pete Alonso. He put the pressure on Pete Alonso early in the home run derby. So if Julio Rodriguez can hit 41 home runs, I believe someone that's more powerful than Julio, such as Yordan Alvarez, can definitely get to 50 home runs.
All right. Well, honestly, I know you talked a little bit about it, but if you have any other thoughts on the home run derby, go ahead and say it now. It is your time, my friend.
I can't believe nobody's talking about Guerrero Jr. and Guerrero Sr. being the father-son duo that's won the home run derby.
First one ever.
Nobody cares about them.
That's cool, man. It's a cool like little novelty thing.
Listen,
I don't know.
Congratulations, Vladimir Guerrero. This is your one trophy that you're gonna win in your entire career of baseball. Congratulations.
Dang.
Listen, you gotta understand. I'm a Yankee. I'm a diehard Yankee.
We know.
I hate Toronto.
Oh, we know.
Jay over there laughing. Hey, Jay, I can't hear you. You're muted, brother.
You're muted, brother.
Hey. Come on, Jay. Hold on. I'll meet you.
It's okay. I know I'm muted because I'm a retard. But listen, James, I gave a whole monologue about Vladi Sr. and Vladdy Jr. being the first duo. James, were you sleeping?
Most of
Were
the
you
time,
taking some nighttime medication? Are you on some I don't know, some Midol? I don't know. James, what's going on over there?
Jay, he's remembering the times where you guys were overseas and you were talking to him and he was going to sleep.
what it is I've got used to just drowning out the white noise. Eventually,
Oh damn, Melody. He called me white noise. That's it. My life is over. Real quick. Hey, let me say one thing about this whole All-Star home run derby thing.
Yep.
Pete Alonso, first of all, let me go back to Pete Alonso, if I may. He was robbed. It takes two people. People don't understand that. Everybody looks at, it's the guy hitting the ball. No. It takes two people to get that ball over the fence. It takes a pitcher putting the ball in the right spot, and then it takes a hitter actually hitting the ball over the fence. Yeah. So, Pete Alonso, the guy that was throwing the ball, I don't know if y'all watched that, but he was horrible. Putting the ball in the wrong spots. Really put Pete Alonso in a bad situation. Number two, if Alvarez was there, if as long as the ball is in the right spot, I promise you Alvarez will crank that thing over the fence 10 times out of 15. I promise. So the All-Star game kind of, to me, it's a two-man effort. And I really think they should give the batting guy, the guy that's throwing the ball to the hitter, he should be a part of that damn trophy ceremony just as much as the hitter is. Because if that guy's not throwing the ball in the right spot, I guarantee you he ain't hitting it in the right spot, okay?
We say something like that, it makes me think that Mookie Betts, after that game, went and found his pitcher. He's like,
you see what I'm saying?
No, and that is
no, hell no. That is not a good point.
You don't think
Mookie Betts was
that is a good point. What are you smoking crack down there at the lower levels of the conversation?
Hold on.
First of all, I don't smoke crack. I smoke weed. That's the first of all. Second of all, I totally agree on what you said with Pete Alonso because I did witness that. That was like a late pick pitcher for him, because the second guy he had apparently he had elbow hurt or something like that. So I understand and I agree with you on that one. I totally agree with you. But the Mookie Betts thing, no, Mookie Betts, no. He was trash last night. But Frankie, I do think you're gonna agree with me that the guy throwing the ball has just as much accountability if that ball goes over the fence as a hitter does, right? Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, we seen it last night. I think it was Randy Rosarina where he was like yelling, or no, it was Louis Roberts Jr.
Yeah,
he was literally telling his pitcher like, "Yo, mira, bring, that's that shit right here inside. I want it inside of me. Bring it right here."
No,
so
but Frankie, I also think on my second point, and this is all I'm going to say about the home run derby. I also think you're going to agree. Oh, come on, James. Give me a little bit of love. I don't know a lot of Spanish, but I do know what un poquito means. Un poquito, amore, okay?
Okay. Hey,
just a little
give me a little bit. Frankie,
if you want the J. McLovin Rosetta Stone, we're selling it for $20.
Hey, listen, man. I tried to spell Rosetta Stone one time and it backfired.
They want a refund.
Frankie, you're going to agree with me, and in fact, I know you're going to agree with me that you're glad that number one, Aaron Judge was never in the home run derby, as much as I'm glad that Alvarez was never in the home run derby. And you know why? Because when you're in the home run derby, it's a certain launch angle, which means you have to alter your swing to get that ball over the fence. The problem is when you come back to actually play in Major League Baseball, that swing has to alter back to its original state. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does, but it takes a little longer. No. I think that the home run derby, as nice as we all love it to be, can ruin a hitter coming back in to the second half of the season. And I think like I know, I don't want Judge having to alter his swing. I don't want Alvarez having to alter his swing. I want these dudes to come back on the second half swinging, if not better, than the way they did in that first half. And as nice as it is at the All-Star break, it can really hurt you coming back in to that second half push.
I'm with you, Jay. All right, so real quick, fellas, let's get this All-Star game prediction knocked out. Just which side you think is going to win. If you only get a final score, you can. Once again, bottom top. Frankie, you got the AL, going with it tonight.
Come on, it's no this.
I gotta ask. I wouldn't be a good moderator.
I understand. I totally understand, but the world should know that the American League is the best league in baseball, baby.
They didn't win 9 in a row.
The AL is gonna win tonight with a final score of. You ready for this one? Hot take, baby. 15-4. Let's go. AL.
Just like
American League. League.
Hey, Logan, before we let James go, because I don't know which way James goes sometimes with his baseball team. So before he goes, I just want to back in on the back end of Frankie's comment on the AL side. The American League has taken 10 consecutive times. So we are now 10 consecutive winners of the AL game. And let's be honest, we all know the best baseball is not in the National League. The best baseball is in the American League. And by the way, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but I'm going to point it out real fast. Dusty Baker chose Scott Service, the Seattle Mariners coach, as his chief of staff behind him. He didn't select Bruce Bochy, the Texas Rangers, as his backup. And Bruce Bochy has a far better record. You know why? Because they hate each other. They hate each other back from their San Francisco Giant days. When you guys not know this, but when Dusty Baker was fired as a coach of the San Francisco Giants, who took his place? Yeah, that's right, Bruce Bochy, a guy who had zero coaching accumens at that point.
Let him know, Jay. And who's got a World Series ring, Jay? Let him know.
Astros!
American League.
Well, Oz, that's your time. Which side you going with? American League continuing their hot streak in recent seasons, really last decade, or you got the National League finally breaking it here in the 2023?
Man, that's a rough one. Honestly, American League's got all the talent, and obviously they keep winning it. I want to say the American League. I'm just worried. Like you said, it's been 10 years of victories. Complacency will take that spot from you in a heartbeat. I'll say American League. I think that they've got a very solid lineup. I think that as long as their manager can keep the pitchers, from messing up like Houston Astros did, I think they'll be just fine. I think it's going to come down to defense more than it's going to come down to offense. Mm-hmm. I think that it's going to really kind of boil down to you're going to see a lot of pitching changes regarding the American League team, just trying to make sure that they keep them on their toes.
You're being too nice. Hold on. Aren't you a Houston Astros fan and sometimes go for the Texas Rangers?
Actually, you got that backwards. I'm a Rangers fan, and I go for the Astros when the Rangers get knocked out.
I want to hear some intense come out of that. I want to hear some fire. I want to hear what me and Jay comes out of our mouth. I want to hear the AL is gonna win.
The AL is gonna win. You know why? Because they put 5 Rangers in their startup. That's what they needed to do.
There we go.
Hey, hold on. James, I want to hear that fire out of you about the Rangers. You guys got 8 starters in their freaking game. You know what I mean? Houston got maybe 1. And that's because Mike Trout got injured and we slid into his space. So, James, I love you. You know I love you. But, man, if you're a Rangers fan, God bless you because you're in Texas, and I love all things Texas. If you're a Rangers fan, you better come out with the fire, baby. Come on with the fire.
Look, I'm looking at the starting lineups, and I can just tell you why I even call it an all-star game is Rangers versus Dodgers. It's
Rangers, Dodgers, Braves. So you only got a few teams in there.
Exactly.
Logan had to quickly throw it in there. Wait, whoa. The Braves got way more players than the Dodgers.
Hey,
we got 8, brother. We got the most out of anyone.
Hey, for Frankie, I don't see any Jays in here. Maybe I'm just missing. I don't see no Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays are watching in the cheap seats
because they're garbage.
Yeah, but I will say this, Frankie. You're not ever going to hear me say a lot of great things about your division, but I will admit, unbiasedly, as an unbiased person, look, if I look at the AL side of life, in the top 6 positions, your division claims 4. Mm-hmm. 4 out of 6. I'm just saying, I will say this. your division is scary. Freaking scary. Tampa, Baltimore. Those two teams alone scare the crap out of me, much less Toronto and then you guys.
Hey, like I say, it's a stacked division, man. Like I said, the first half's been great. Except for the second half. Well, Oz, hey, we appreciate you coming on, man. First show on Unscripted. Hope you enjoyed it. We loved having you on. We're going to have you back on in the future, brother. And like I say, you go enjoy the rest of your night. We will talk to you soon, okay?
Y'all take it easy.
Hey, real quick.
Yes,
Oz, man. Hey, man. Hey, Oz, for real, for Unscripted, man. Much love to you. And our hearts and prayers are with your family and your pops.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate that, man.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk to you later.
I'll take it easy.
All right, fellas, let's get through this here. They're doing the intros for the All-Star game. I just saw that Kyle Tucker and Alvarez came out, Jay, to a course of booze there in Seattle. So, I mean, not much to be expected there. We all knew that was going to happen. But let's go over to the draft. MLB draft, obviously, we know they're still going. So, Jay, we'll let you kick things off here. Who are some winners? Who are some losers you think so far in the draft? Man. I think we're through like 14 rounds at this point. So, we're still going on, but hey, but since we're right here, it'll be concluded by Thursday, I'm sure. But who do you think right now, who are some winners and losers in your opinion?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think what I'm about to say is oblivious to anybody here. My winner straight up is LSU baseball. And I say LSU baseball because number 1 and 2 for the first time in the history of the draft is LSU baseball. It's interesting because we thought Dylan Cruz was going to go 1. We thought Skeens might be in the top 5, but we weren't exactly sure where in the top 5. Well, guess what? Skeens wound up going number 1, and Dylan Cruz wound up going number 2. Dylan has said to be very, very he didn't want to go, quote unquote. He didn't want to go to the Pirates, who were drafted number 1. So the Pirates, I think, reluctantly went with Skeens instead, ultimately sending him to the Nationals. It's okay. Hey, what else, man? If I was Dylan Cruz, I probably would have rather gone to the Pirates because right now the Pirates are playing better baseball. But if you want to go somewhere else, hey, so be it. But yeah, man, if you look at LSU baseball, Ty Floyd went to the Reds at 38. Grant Taylor went to the White Sox at 51. So within the first 52 people, you got 4 or 5 of them LSU. And the top 2 are LSU. So that tells you that the LSU team came into the draft with. So I'm giving LSU as the winner. My loser, Mickey Delaney, I hope you're watching because I'm about to light your team up. My loser is straight up Seattle. Straight up Seattle. And if you don't think Seattle's the loser, then you got problems. Let me help you out. They had 4 picks in that first, even into the second round. And in the first 4 damn picks they had, do you know not one college player was taken? All of them were high schoolers. And the 4th pick wasn't even in the draft rankings. So what am I telling you is Seattle did this shit. You know you play craps? Hey, you want to blow this dice real quick?
No, I normally have the females blow on my dice.
Hey, I'm just saying. Hey, maybe it was a female. All I'm saying is this. On the first 4 picks of their draft, they could have chose anybody. There was a lot of LSU guys out there. There was a lot of plethora of really qualified pitchers, outfielders, and infielders. And then instead, they took 4 chances, all of them, on high school and non-ranked people. Really. So basically, Seattle is hinging all of their bets on reaches. Not guys who we know are qualified and are going to be successful at the next round. All 4 of them from position number 28 down, all of them were reaches. Just so you know, high schooler Colt Henderson went 29. High schooler Johnny Farmello went 39. Ty Pete, high schooler, went 53. And then the 4th pick was Ben Williamson, not even ranked. Now, people out there are going to give them a B, a C, whatever. I give them a straight D. I give you a D because you straight reached on potential versus what you know is there on all 4 picks. And I hope it pays off for you. But if it doesn't, then you're going to look like the biggest clown ever.
Frankie, who is your winners and losers from the draft so far, my friend?
I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys, and I do my research just as we all do our research. I saw the first round of the MLB draft and noticed that the Yankees didn't even have a first round pick. So right after the first round, I just stopped watching because realistically,
he said, hey.
I'm gonna be real with you guys.
We appreciate it.
Baseball draft is so long. I'm not gonna sit here on the couch and just wait for the Yankees on the second round, which is probably like, I don't even know, like pick 70 something, just to see who we picked up. I've seen who we picked up. I like the first 2 guys we got. We got the shortstop out of high school, which when Jay was mentioning the high school kids to Seattle, I understand that, but I can't say much on it because the Yankees drafted some high school kids. But I actually like when they draft high school kids because they're young and they're hungry, and you want to get those young legs in there. It doesn't even matter. Even after college, you're still young as well, but you're in your 20s. We're drafting kids that are like 16 to 18 years old coming out of high school. They're hungry. Fresh. They want to play. They got fresh legs. Look at Anthony Volpe. The man literally just turned 22 years old, and he got drafted by the Yankees when he was I think it was 18. So the man literally was in the minor leagues for about 3 years before getting the call up on the Yankees to come play in MLB. So I like the young studs coming out of high school. Jay has another theory on it. I mean, it's the Astros, and if the Astros want to go ahead and have 4 of their draft picks be out of high school, that right there is, I agree with Jay. That's mind blowing. You want to at least get 1 college man out of there. The Yankees got a couple of college guys out of their draft pick, so I'm half there with Jay. I think Seattle is the losers after hearing what Jay said, going after four high schoolers to just come in and basically we're not going to see them in the major league for about 5-6 years, probably even 7, depending on where the route goes for Seattle. I also know why Seattle did it. They just gave Julio Rodriguez an amazing contract, and he's young. They got Luis Castillo, who's still kind of young. They got a lot of young star talents in Seattle. So I see why they did it. But then again, that's a huge, like I said, I agree with Jay. That's a huge D on my part. You want to at least get 1, maybe 2 college players out of there. People who have experience, not just in high school, but the college experience as well. But I can't give you no wins or losses. So I'm just going to agree with Jay. And I'm going to say, Seattle, you lost. And I'm not, I'm going to give half of it for Jay. But I'm also going to give my full thought on why I think Seattle lost is because it's Seattle. I think Seattle's are a bunch of losers. Seattle's a bunch of losers. Seriously, I'm sitting here watching a goddamn introduction.
Hey,
Excuse my language. I apologize. But how dare you? You're a Seattle Mariners fan. You're in Seattle, a team who represents the AL, and you're gonna go ahead and boo half the AL team that's coming out during introduction. You boo Dusty Baker. You boo Garrett Cole. How dare you? The audacity that you have.
Yeah.
How dare you people in Seattle boo our people? We are winners, god dang it.
Hey, they also booed the Astros too, so I mean I think y'all are
you
and Jay are in the same boat with this.
Well, I understand why Seattle boos the Astros. That's division rivalries. But This is all-star break. We're representing the AL. There's no rivalries in here.
You're all AL collective. You're
NL.
one.
Like, how dare you? Not. Jesus Christ. I understand those because Seattle's always getting beat by the Astros and the Yankees.
Ouch. Hey, also, we're going to give a shout out real quick to Paul Mady. Also got to plug his group, Football Universe Discussion Group, that we've been sharing our stuff into. Big shout out to him. Go follow his group over there. Show them some love. So just in there real quick. But yeah, so I know Jay said the Mariners, obviously he said they drafted some high school kids. I'm going to go with the winners, not the Mariners. Don't get me twisted. I'm going to go with the high schoolers, man. There's a lot of high schoolers, particularly a lot of high school shortstops that got drafted early on. I mean, there's a lot of them in the top 50. I think there's about 10 or so. And we know that typically that's going to be one of your best players in terms of high school. One of the guys who are the most versatile, who are the most athletic. And like Frankie said, to his point, in high school, whenever these guys get drafted, I mean, they're super young. They got those fresh legs, a lot of energy. And that's the thing with baseball is there's, I believe 615, give or so, draft picks in total. So you got to weed through some of these people. And that's why, I think baseball more so than, obviously basketball doesn't do it anymore. I think hockey does to a certain extent. That you can get these young high school kids and see how they develop. And like you said, when they're 17, when they're 18. And that's more of, I would say that's more of a later round as opposed to a first round. That's just me personally. Because I think I would rather go, if I was a GM, I would rather go with someone in college who has proven that they can face a higher level of competition than a high school level kid. That's just my personal belief. But you are taking a big gamble by drafting a high school player in round one to seeing how they can do. And like I said, I can definitely understand why, the first two picks were from LSU. They had that great postseason, got the win, and winning the college championship with Skeens, being the number one overall selection. He had that phenomenal run that he went on to really solidify him as the number one overall pick. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. And I think we're going to maybe do a little bit of a full recap Thursday or maybe Saturday, potentially. We'll figure it out. Just talking about our team specifically and just kind of weed through all the 40 picks we got because, oh my God, MLB draft, don't get me wrong, we love it. We love our teams, but it is just kind of a hassle. Just with so many people, you got to look up and say, all right, well, here's these guys we drafted. We'll see you in 5 years. Because, that's the thing. It's not like all these other sports. They get sent down to the minors for quite some time, unless you are just, transcending pretty much. But is what it is. But like I said, draft still going on. Check out our Facebook, Twitter, all of our socials for updates on that. Let me keep moving here, fellas.
Can I plug something in real quick? I just want to plug something in.
No,
So what you were saying about the high schoolers. And, Jay, I want to get this into your mind as well. Yeah, it's bad for some teams to draft high schoolers. But if you look at it, like Logan said, when these high schoolers come into the minor leagues and they're playing actually well than what we expected, these high schoolers can somehow, some way help in a potential trade for your team. You can trade these high schoolers in the future to get, that certain player that you need to win you a championship now, instead of waiting for that high schooler to develop within the next 5 to 6 years and winning a championship 5 and 6 years later when you're hungry for a championship now. So I
get what you're saying, Frankie. I totally understand what you're saying. Look, you got to understand, I come from a high school that produced a lot of high-quality baseball players. Matter of fact, Brad Bohannon, if you don't know who Brad Bohannon is, I strongly encourage you to Google him. He came out of high school throwing 104-mile-an-hour fastball. How many high schoolers you know that throw 104 miles an hour? The Texas Rangers came in and grabbed him up, picked him up, gave him, I think, a $75,000. And now, remember, this is back in the 90s, okay, or late 80s, early 90s. So 90s, I think it was like $75,000 is what they gave him. $75,000 back in the early 80s was a lot of money. Now, of course, nowadays it's nothing. But back then, $75,000 coming out of high school was a lot of money. So the Rangers grabbed him up. He went. He threw in the Rangers organization. He wound up throwing his arm out. I think he had Tommy John extremely early on in his career. But he went on to pitch not only for the Rangers in professional Major League Baseball, but he also pitched for the Colorado Rockies and the New York Mets. And I encourage you to Google Brad Bohannon. Because he is the prototypical guy that I'm speaking on when we're talking about taking a reach, right? When you take a reach out of high school based on what you see, it can pan out. It may not pan out. At the end of the day, it's a reach. It's not like you went and played college ball. You've been doing this for a hot minute. We got more data for analytical people to analyze as if they want to take you or not take you, and when to take you and when not to take you. This is a guy straight up out of high school who had an incredible arm, that they took. So, again, I say Seattle, got a D in my opinion because all 4 of their picks were reaches in high school. Now, if they'd have taken 2 high schoolers and 2, college players, I may have given them a B, maybe a B minus, maybe a B plus even. But when all 4 of your damn picks are high schoolers, you're really putting a lot of eggs in a quote unquote maybe basket. And if that's what you want to do, so be it. Me, I think I want a little bit more diversification in my picks.
And like I said, we'll see how all these guys are going to do. And we will, like I said, continue to keep y'all updated on all of our social media channels. But let's go into our final topic here tonight, fellas. Main topic, that is Damian Lillard. We know he has requested a trade from the Portland Trail Blazers. It seems that the Miami Heat are his preferred destination. The Portland Trail Blazers have said, we're willing to sit on this. We're not going to go and just give him exactly what he wants. So the question is Dame's asking price too high? And Frankie, we'll kick things off with you. What do you think? Is his asking price a little too high, or do you think it's maybe at the right amount and the Blazers are just kind of waiting to see what options they can get?
Well, before I say anything, do we know the price that he's asking for?
Yeah, we kind of do. Right now, Portland is looking for 3 to 4 first-round picks plus 2 already proven picks. In other words, if he got, for example, let's look at an example. If you got 3 or 4 first-round picks, and somehow if Miami is in this equation, if Miami throws in a Tyler Hero, whatever the case may be, somebody of a borderline starter, maybe even a bench player, a really good bench player, maybe a Rushi Hachimura. I'm not saying the Lakers are in there. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying somebody along that caliber. Because I know Frankie's about to go ape shit crazy.
No, I didn't even have to say nothing. I just love that Logan backed me up before I even thought about saying something.
Hey, all I'm saying is at least 3 to 4 first rounders and 1 to 2 proven players, bench, whatever, but proven players.
Okay, and you know what this deal makes me? It makes me realize what it sounds like.
What was that?
It makes it sound like that this man is the Aaron Rodgers of the NBA.
Oh,
Aaron Rodgers.
Really?
Yeah, I can see that.
Aaron
Honestly,
Rodgers
Frankie, I kind of get where you're going with that. I get you.
It's true. I mean, Aaron Rodgers requested a trade, and then Green Bay was like out there looking for crazy trades. Like they wanted the same thing. They wanted like 2 or 3 first round picks, a couple second round picks, and a player involved. Like, when you have a talent like that, you want to go that route. I think Portland's asking for too much. Yes, I do. Damian Lillard, he's not in his young prime anymore. He really isn't. And I'm not saying that he's not in his prime at all. I'm just saying he's not in his young prime. He's in his old prime right now, kind of like a LeBron James. He's in his old prime. So I see what Portland is trying to do. And like Logan said, they don't have to, quickly jump on this and trade him right away. No. Portland can literally hold on to Damian Lillard for another season if they wanted to. They can hold on to Damian Lillard until the trade deadline if they really wanted to. So, that's a really good thing what Portland has. Like, okay, Damian Lillard, you want to trade? That's fine. But don't expect to get traded right away. We're going to sit on this. We're going to hold on to this. We're going to see what we can get out of this. And we can't get nothing out of this right away. Guess what, sir? You're suiting up. And if you don't want to play, guess what, sir? You're getting money taken away. Yeah, you get on the bench. You're getting money taken away. Because now in the NBA, if you sit for a certain amount of games, you start getting fines. So, I mean, like, and it's not just for rest-related things. Or it's just for rest-related things. Like, yes, you want, the NBA wants you to rest your players and stuff. But if you rest them for a certain amount of games through the regular season, you're getting fined. So Damian Lillard, you better have that collective money, sir, because if you're going to go that route and sit the bench because you don't want to play for Portland, then you're going to start paying some fines. And I don't think any team is going to want to give what Portland is asking for. That's way too much. I know for a fact the Lakers don't even have that. The Lakers don't even have that to give them. Hey, listen, if you want some 2030 first round picks or some 2032 first round
no, Frankie, let's keep it realistic. You guys don't have what they want.
No,
Now,
we got.
no, you really don't. Watch this.
No.
No, hold on. Frankie, let me tie this into what you're saying because I think this makes total sense. Maybe even for you, this is where I think you could come into play.
Okay.
Portland. No, go ahead, Logan. I'm sorry. What are you going to say?
Oh, no, I'm just saying. I'm listening, Jay. Go ahead.
No. Hey, watch this. Let's be honest. Look, here's the deal. First of all, Frankie, I'm about to really tie this in where I think this could help you. I do want to give mad shout out, though, real quick to Paul Matty for Football Universe and Discussion Group. Number one, thank you for allowing us to be involved and posting in your group and sharing our content to you guys. Number one, man, much love to you. Secondly, Ray Bond. Dame is delusional. Of course he's delusional, Ray Bond. Yes, he's very delusional. Secondly, he's overplayed his hand. Now he looks no. He's not crazy, and I'm about to explain why he's not crazy.
Why is that, Jay?
Portland should play hardball and call his bluff. Number one, Portland is playing hardball because Portland has already come out and said that they're not going to take anything less than what they expect. What they expect. Now, Frankie, this one was tied in. I've addressed Ray Bond, and I'm going to further address Ray Bond. By the way, Ray Bond, I love you. I love what you're doing over there on Real Talk. Mad love. But
Jay,
I'm going to
address it. Come on.
I'm going to address your comment and Frankie all in the same nutshell basket. Here's the deal. Here we go. Number one, they need 3 to 4 draft picks for Portland to pull the trigger. They need at least 1 to 2 bench players at a bare minimum to pull the trigger. Here's where this comes into play. Number one, this will not be a Miami-Portland straight-up trade. It will be a Miami-Portland trade. Let's be honest. It will be a Portland-Miami trade. I understand Philadelphia 76ers have thrown their hats into the ring, but it's not going to be that direction in which it goes. It will go Miami, Portland, with a third team involved into it. A third team. This is where Frankie comes into it.
Okay.
This is where I think Frankie could possibly benefit at some level. It's going to take 3 teams to make this team happen. It's going to take 2 first-rounders from Miami. It's going to take a third-rounder from a third team. I think this is where LA comes into play. And, Frankie, I don't know what exact specific year you got a first-rounder left because you dealt so much away. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think you got a 2027 first-rounder. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I can see Miami, LA coming into an agreement. LA gives up a 2027. Miami gives up the other 2 first. I think that's your 3 first-rounders. Now, you still need 1 or 2 bench players to pull off Damian Lillard contract to make it happen. Could Tyler Hero be in there? Could a bench player from LA or Portland be in there? I think so. LA's got a couple of formidable guys. I think that are decent. Hachimura and Frankie, you may not want to see Hachimura go, but he could be in this. I don't know. They're going to figure that out. I think, though, LA, Miami, Portland could work something out to where Portland gets what they want and Miami gets what they want. I think LA will get what they want at some level. They're going to get what they want. But I think those 3 guys could pull off 3 first-rounders and 1, maybe 2 bench players. I think 1 is more prolific to make that happen. And let me tell you something, Ray Bond. When you talk about delusional, if you haven't looked around the NBA in the last 3 to 4 years and know that the NBA is straight up delusional, I don't know what you're watching. I don't know what you've been the last 3 or 4 years. A lot of delusional shit has happened in the NBA. Hold on. The last thing I will say this. If you don't know that there's delusional stuff going on, did you not see what happened in Minnesota when Rudy Gobert got traded over there for God knows what he got? And where's Minnesota been the last 1 or 2 years? So let's not talk delusional, what delusional is, what delusional could be. Dylan Brooks just got $80 million from the Rockets. Van Fleet got 130 for 3. If you know there's delusional stuff going on in the NBA, then you're not watching the NBA. So to think that can't happen, I think it can happen. I think I've laid out the way it will happen, and that's my final thoughts.
All right. Well, if that's your final thoughts, then Frankie, what's your final thoughts?
It's so funny because, like, first of all, I love how Jay threw in a 3-team type of trade deal. But the real question is, where are you sending Damian Lillard? Is he going to the Miami Heat?
No. I already said that. I laid that out. Lillard will be going to Miami.
Okay, there we go.
The trade picks, the 3 picks are going to Portland along with the other 2. The part I don't know specifically yet would be how LA would benefit. LA's going to benefit some kind of way, whether it be through draft picks or whatever. Something will happen there. I'm just trying to say Lillard goes. And I don't know. Lillard goes to Miami. Picks go to Miami. And what LA gets out of that equation, whether it be players, whatever, right. Could Hero be going to LA and other picks be going elsewhere? Who knows? I know for one, I don't think Frankie is going to turn down Tyler Hero coming to LA.
I definitely would.
Well, Frankie, what's your final thoughts, man, before we get out of here and get to the All-Star game?
My final thoughts is finally Garrett Cole is getting the start nod in the All-Star game. I hope he doesn't, tear his fucking. Oh, excuse me. I didn't mean to curse.
No Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, I hope he don't get a Tommy John going or tear his rotator cuff. But we're underway. Here we go. Six All-Star appearances for Garrett Cole. First start. Thank you, Dusty Baker. Other than that, I got some breaking news here for Unscripted and for you guys all that are watching. This Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern time, we will be having a special guest on our show, and we will be welcoming back the great Robert Duran Jr., the son of legendary boxer Roberto Duran. Yes, he is coming on our show this Saturday, July 15th, 2023, at 1 p.m. Eastern time here on Unscripted. And hopefully we will be getting some breaking news on his next announced fight date that has not been announced yet. So hopefully we will get that on our show for you guys on Saturday. But we'll be talking about, his recent fight that he had in Long Island. We'll talk about his what's he doing training-wise, what's he looking for in the future plans, and what's his goals. We'll be going on from there. But, don't forget, to tune in Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern time with a special guest, Robert Duran Jr.
Well, Frankie, that's a wonderful way to end the show. Final thoughts, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night episode. Once again, follow us on social media, Facebook, Unscripted, Twitter, Unscripted Guys, where me and Frankie have been putting in some work here in the last few days. Also, check us out on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch, all at Unscripted Sports. For our special guest tonight, Oz, getting his debut appearance on Unscripted. Fun having him on. Going to be getting him back on again real soon. And for my boys, Frankie, Jay, always a pleasure having y'all on. As usual, every 3 times a week. Once again, check us out Thursday, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for another live episode of Unscripted, episode 352. Enjoy the rest of your nights, and we will see you then.